Good afternoon, everyone. Gabe Velazquez here with you, transparenttradeSolutions.com on a Tuesday's 23rd December, approaching Christmas here, all-time highs in the S&P. Santa Claus has arrived. Wrote about that this weekend. Let's get right into the charts. Couple of interesting things happening today. Again, subscribe to the newsletter. We do have a half day of trading tomorrow, obviously Christmas off on Thursday, and then a full day of trading on Friday. So that's going to be an interesting situation. So in the S&P, we have all-time highs basis. The uh, futures are right at the all-time highs right here. We're almost um, Actually, we're at an all-time high on the continuous chart. The specific is not quite there yet at 70.42. Cash is at all time. I think it's also close to all-time high, 69.20, which would correspond to the. So we're not technically closing above the all-time highs here in the. Let's see what the dailies look like here. So for all intent and purposes, we are. Um, approaching the all-time, technically the all-time high 69.20 on the cash. So we're only 12 points away from that. So, we're basically there. Nasdaq still lagging pretty heavily, as you can see here from that chart. Still got a lot of room, which means the AI trades are still somewhat, as you know, like Nvidia is still below. We're coming up to some big resistance levels on the Nasdaq. Um, so the AI trade still has some catching up to do, which is probably not a bad thing if you're, again, we at the group bought, my members and I bought some calls on Nvidia, which we're doing pretty well on. So that's where we're at. Again, seasonals and thin volume probably has the algos going after the all-time highs. Not a big surprise. One of the things that's a standout is Bitcoin just challenged. I still think if we have are going to have a sustained rally, Bitcoin's got to participate. Next year is going to be a different story. I'm starting to get, a little bit, uh, start to see some yellow flags coming out for the beginning of next year, but we'll see. VIX down at below 14 now means that volatility has been crushed here. Last time we had this, uh, you know, uh, doesn't necessarily mean we're going to fall off the cliff here, but I don't think we're going to have much bigger gains here. We had that GDP print this morning that shot rates up. I think it looks like rates are going to break out to the upside still, um, but we'll see. You can see, clearly this chart looks like it wants to break out. How high do they go? 425, 430. We will have to see. Uh, and that's going to impact again a lot of the housing stocks, probably Russell. Uh, the dollar, interestingly, looks like it's headed, lower, even despite, higher rates. So maybe that correlation is broken. We've got, the Japanese yen, looking at that, see if it actually wants to rally from here, never broke. That's still going to be a story for next year. Gold, all-time high. Uh, how high it goes, nobody knows. Silver, unbelievable, just unbelievable move. Uh, you rarely see this in 35 years. I've seen this maybe once or twice in my career. But it is what it is. Um, and again, how high are they going to take it? 75, 80, 100, who the heck knows? But it is what it is. Platinum, which I've been writing about, also just gone ballistic. And I think it's actually, yeah, if you read my newsletter a couple of 3 weeks ago, I can't remember exactly. I did mention this as the catch-up trade from the metals. And lo and behold, we have just made an all-time high in platinum. So the whole kind of trifecta, silver, gold, and platinum have now completed all-time highs, which is really interesting. And we'll see if that means anything. I mean, these are interesting moves there. Whether that is going to climax in a huge drawdown next year or whatever. So the other commodities that are, so maybe pointing to a commodities super cycle. We also have oil uh, bouncing and possibly also um, looks like that's headed back up towards 60 a barrel. Nat gas is now also recovering from this earlier this week on Monday. It sold off and looks like that's headed uh, higher. The front month contract is going to be the uh, February, which is in backwardation right now at $4 is the next resistance on the new Feb contract, which takes UNG back above 13. And the grains kind of emerging, but not much there. The big movers today, some of the mega caps, Nvidia obviously having an impact on the markets. Nvidia heading up towards the 190 level. Um, you know, energy shares slightly higher, but very quiet on the stock front. Uh, so in any event, tomorrow we have a half day, probably, meander about. I don't expect a lot unless there's some kind of headlines that comes out and hits the market. Probably going to be quiet tomorrow, but Friday is going to be interesting because we do have a full session, and let's see if we get some follow through to the upside on that. In any event, everybody have a Merry Christmas. Have a great holiday, and we will see you on Friday, the day after Christmas. Take care. Have a good day. Again, subscribe to the newsletter. I'm going to be writing a newsletter this weekend, and I got some new stuff coming up for the new year. So subscribe to the channel and have a great holiday.